Okay, these are in no particular order. The first was one of my textbooks during Montessori training, and I highlighted it the heck out of it when I was reading it. And it's by Dr. Montanaro, who many of you probably know is the doctor that really helped develop the assistance to infancy, or the 0 to 3 training and material development, because much of that really happened after the death of Montessori, or though Dr. Montessori did encourage people, especially after her experience living among a lot of different families from all over the world while she was interned in India during World War II. She said, oh, we've got to start earlier. She said it more beautifully than that. And then Dr. Montanaro did a lot of work, other people too. But she wrote this book, so that's why I'm talking about her. And it's understanding the human being. And it just goes into in-depth about not just child development, not just ages and stages, but what is going on in the spirit of the child and how it is so greatly impacted by all the people around and by the physical environment. And one of the things with Montessori and students of Montessori is it's so amazing what they taught us that they learned just from observation. There was no brain imaging when they began this work, but now we have images to support what they were saying was really happening. So I highly recommend you get a hold of a copy of Understanding the Human Being by Silvana Montanaro, MD. So this is obviously a Montessori book with the classic primary schoolwork, The Pink Tower, and this is by Maren Schmidt, and I really like Maren Schmidt. She does some great online courses, and I actually early on did a little consulting phone call with her, which was great. And if you're considering Montessori and want to know, well, really, what is the difference between a conventional preschool or a Montessori preschool, and especially if you are fortunate enough to have a lot of Montessori school options in your community, this is just an expert in Montessori that can help you understand in general what Montessori is, so you can, when you're going out and searching, you can see, well, is that really a good Montessori school? And it's just well organized. She's got nice chapter summary. She explains everything, like what a typical day would look like in Montessori, the method that we teach with, what kind of evaluations your child will be getting. If you're used to a traditional progress report from your own preschool experience, this can give you an idea of what to expect, and there is a lot to know. And so reading this book can be very helpful if your child is about to go into a primary school. And she does focus on the 3 to 6 year olds, which is very different than the toddler age. But the basic underlying Montessori principles are the same. So anyway, I highly recommend this book, Maren Schmidt. All right. The next, especially for that toddler set, is Diaper-free Before 3 by Jill Lekovic, MD. It's written by a doctor whose children attended Montessori school, and she gives her perspective as a doctor on the benefits of starting to use the toilet sooner rather than later, and just everything you would want to know about toileting. I mean, again, pretty thick. And so it's not just information, though, it's just really inspiring, I think, as a parent. If you've never helped your child learn to use the toilet before, it will just help you feel supported through her words and the information she provides. It's a good resource because I know I've had some parents say, well, my pediatrician says I should wait until my child can have a Kool-Aid stand and raise money and ask me, can we go buy some underwear now? And then that's a sign that they're ready. All right. Okay, I'm being a little sarcastic. But there are pediatricians that will say, oh, basically just wait until your child says they want to learn it. Is there anything else we do that with. Wait until the child says, like, I'd like to learn manners now, could you teach me? Or I'd like to learn to use a fork now, could you teach me? But with toileting, I don't know what the deal is. So it's just nice to have, you know, I mean, Montessori was a doctor, Dr. Montanaro was a doctor, but here's another doctor saying the Montessori way is good and healthy. So I highly recommend that. All right, another textbook, okay. It's by Maria Montessori. I mean, it's a classic Maria Montessori for early childhood, especially the toddler. Like, this is the one you can see is just kind of beat up. But I do know that some people are reading a lot of books written by like Montessori teachers or people who, you know, have devoted their whole life to Montessori but never have read any of Montessori's books, and she wrote over 40. So if you're a toddler teacher, toddler parent, even preschool, the Absorbent Mind, it's like every word you can just, I mean, she's a talented writer. And no, she is hard on adults. Like, she wasn't just writing a book that you could consult, she was starting a movement. So she's pretty in your face about how adults mess children up, because she wanted that to change, and she knew that couldn't change unless we understood what we were doing wrong. And this next book, The Montessori Toddler by Simone Davies, I must admit, I haven't read every single word because it's like an introductory to Montessori toddler life, and I have a Montessori toddler classroom, but I think it's a great resource for implementing Montessori at home, which, you know, most people don't have Montessori toddler programs in their community and want to set things up, or maybe your child does attend a Montessori school, and this gives information on how to not turn your house into a Montessori school, although people definitely are, but how to set up your house so that it follows the principles that will help your child be more independent and contribute to the family. And she's great. Actually, I did a Zoom training with her. Actually, I actually got to chat with her. Simone Davies, just a lovely, lovely soul also. So comment below what your most helpful books as a parent have been, whether they have to do with Montessori education or not. All right, thanks for watching. Take care. Actually, the borrowed copy, you know who you are if you want it back.